Greatness is in you. It's in you. All you have to do is believe.
Welcome to the Greatness Ignited podcast, where we have conversations about the greatness of others so that you can recognize the greatness in you. My name is Barry Overton, and I have been studying greatness for the last 7 years, and it is taking my career to new heights. And now me and a few of the successful people that I have had the honor of interviewing are coming together to ignite your greatness and light the fire within.
Are you ready to light the fire within? Then you want to read Ignite Your Greatness by Barry Overton. It is the latest book that proves the theory of greatness within all of us. And it also gives you strategies and action steps to really light the fire within inside of you and take your business, take your relationships to new heights. Get Ignite Your Greatness at igniteyourgreatness.com. Available in paperback, hardcover, and soon to be audiobook. Welcome to the wrap-up edition, the best of the Greatness Ignited podcast, our first season. My name is Barry Overton, and I am the host of the Greatness Ignited podcast. And I brought on several different amazing people, mentors of mine, people that I've looked up to, people that I've admired from afar, people I've admired up close, and really brought you into the world of understanding greatness from heights at this level and all the way to people that are just finding their greatness and just getting ignited and really making a spark and doing some amazing things in the world. But I didn't really take a whole lot of time throughout the podcast season to share much about me. So I want to give you a little bit of insight on who I am and why this whole idea of igniting your greatness and greatness being ignited has come to me, and I felt the need to really bring this to the world. So again, my name is Barry Overton. My background, I'm a Gulf War veteran, U.S. Army, military police officer. I spent 26 years total in law enforcement between the military and civilian. I've also been a real estate agent for 20 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. And just 6 months ago, I became a best-selling author with the Ignite Your Greatness book. It's available on Amazon and on my website, igniteyourgreatness.com. And look out for the audio version of the book coming in June of 2021. So really an exciting time. If you're like me and you love to listen to books when you're on the road or when you're working out, this is going to be perfect for you. And it's going to give you some nuggets and information that will really inspire you and take your life to a whole nother level. And I can tell you, some of the people that I brought on were people that I was mentored by. People like Rod Smith, who, when I was a police officer, he was in business, a guy that has 3 business degrees. And I looked at him as someone that could really help me to, again, I was already in business for myself for several years, but really looking to level up my business and take it to new heights, and being able to work with someone that had a background in business and a lot of people that he was mentored by, and taking their information and passing it on to people like myself, again, helped me to have great success as well. It actually retired me 10 years early from a 6-figure income as a police officer, being able to be mentored by him. And in our segment, we talked about a lot of nuggets, and a lot of it has to do with mindset, business acumen, and just really being able to get into diving in deep to the things that you want out of life and then pursuing them relentlessly. And that's really how he went about his career in the NFL. If you don't know, he's also a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos, an all-pro player, and soon to be a future Pro Football Hall of Famer. So again, that was one of my huge mentors that we had the opportunities to speak to. Take a look at some of the areas that we discussed in his episode.
TJ got 40,000 people. You got a couple hundred people. He said, dude, he said, my budget just for water and things like this is bigger than your budget for your whole. And he wasn't putting the guy down. He was just explaining. You got to understand how I had to walk to get here. I had to take my time and learn how to handle 200 so I can learn how to handle 400. Then when I got to 500, then I got to 1,000. So everybody understand that your steps, man, are so important. And we're always in a hurry to get there, but trust me, the faster you get there, the faster you're going to come back.
All right. Now you see why I'm so fired up about being able to bring some of the expertise and the mentorship that I have from the likes of a two-time Super Bowl champion. Because you think about it, to be a champion on any level takes a champion's mindset first. So when you can get into the mind of someone that's taken their profession to the pinnacle, you want to be able to just know, and no matter if it's football and you're learning about business, it's all about the mindset. So you can see that through that training from Rod, that is really what's allowed me to have so much success. Another one of my mentors that I had the opportunity to interview as well is Les Brown. And I'm sure you know the name. I'm sure you've heard there's greatness within you. I can tell you it was that term, those words, that fired this thing up inside of me, that got me to really thinking about what does greatness mean? Do I really have it inside of me? Let me find out. Let me figure it out. And it took me on a journey of about 5 years of studying greatness. And a lot of that study came from listening to the words of Mr. Les Brown. And to be able to have him on and interview him was truly an honor. Anytime you have him on, I can tell you, you're going to be taking notes. But let me just give you a few areas of our episode where some great nuggets were laid out.
When you find that something, you get up automatically. When you find that something, you don't look at the clock. When you find that something, you don't operate out of the thinking where you work just hard enough to keep from getting fired and they pay you just enough to keep you from quitting. When you find that something, it's something that you love so much that you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. It's a special place to be with your life.
What did I tell you? There's greatness within you. If you don't believe it after hearing from the man himself, Mr. Les Brown, I don't know what to say. I got to tell you, though, but that is someone that has inspired me for years. And the beauty of it is he will inspire people for years to come. You know, we say often, and then we give this quote, but we'll say Confucius say, and then we'll give a quote of Confucius. 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now, people are going to be saying, well, Les Brown said, and they're going to have all these amazing quotes to be able to give. But he is someone that has created a legacy that will live long past his life. And another one that has done that for me is Dr. Billy Allsbrooks. Now, maybe not a name that you're familiar with yet, but I can tell you he is one of the fastest rising motivational speakers in the world right now. And, you know, having the opportunity to be personally mentored by him and coached and speak on the same stages at live events, we've actually, during the COVID period, we've taken all the necessary precautions, but we've put together some live events and been able to impact people all across the country. And he's actually doing it all across the world as he's on an international world tour. But I can tell you, this is the guy that lights my rocket. This is the guy when I'm working out to Dr. Billy Allsbrooks. If you haven't heard him, go to YouTube and just put in Dr. Billy Allsbrooks and just put champion in Dr. Billy Allsbrooks, and you'll have many different titles to choose from, and pick any one of them. And all I can tell you is don't be in your car because it'll make you drive faster. If you're on a treadmill, it'll make you run faster. He motivates you like that. But let me just give you a little taste of what Dr. Billy Allsbrooks is all about. Here's a few scenes from our episode with Dr. Billy.
God made you, which is great. God is great. Now, if greatness made you, therefore greatness is in you. Now, that's that we stand on a strong foundation, right? Now, to me, greatness is the mastery of the basics, and then being able to consistently execute and apply those basics with that mastery. Everything we do, whether it's washing dishes, or whether it's on stage performing, or in a marriage, the worship, whatever it is, we do it with a spirit of excellence, a spirit of greatness, man. And I get up every day and attempt to pursue that. And we never quite achieve perfection, but we can achieve greatness, right? Because greatness is in us, man.
Your heart's pumping, right? He'll do that to you, and I can tell you that through the interviews with Billy, we're going to talk about some Pro Football Hall of Famers as well. But some of the most inspiring information for me came from people that are what I call up and coming greatness. It's that greatness that's in progress right now. And you haven't heard the names, but I personally knew them because of being in my community, and within the community of Denver, Colorado, where I live at, they are very well known, but not the world doesn't know them yet. And that's one thing I want you to understand about greatness, is that a lot of times we tie greatness to fame and fortune, and we think that you must have that in order for it to be greatness. But I guarantee you, if you think about in your own community, the people that you know, that you admire, that you are in awe of some of the things that they do, but the world doesn't necessarily know them, that's greatness. That's greatness in action right there. Maybe it doesn't get to a world-renowned level, but they are still working in their greatness. And you know what? Maybe that person is you. Maybe some of the things that you're doing are inspiring to many others. And I say maybe, but I would almost guarantee that they are. Someone out there is watching the things that you do, and they're impressed, and they want to be able to achieve the things that you're doing. So continue to inspire by just doing living in your greatness and doing the things that you're currently doing right now. But I want to introduce you to Angie DeMattia. She's a captain in the U.S. Army. I call her Captain Greatness because she's been a softball pitcher in college. She's been an Ironman competitor where she's completed multiple Ironmans. And she's been a pageant and fitness competitor as well. And now she's a captain in the U.S. Army, actually working within the space program. So again, she's continuing to level up in her life. But just listen to some of these amazing antidotes in regards to just getting into your greatness.
I love that you say the struggle is real, but so is your greatness. My mentor told me, his name, Cecil Cheeves, he was the race director for the first marathon I ever ran, the Soldier Marathon in Columbus, Georgia. He said the struggle, he didn't say struggle is real, but basically, on a caveat to that, the struggle is real, but he said the story is in the struggle.
Once again, I got to tell you, that it was a privilege to be able to connect with someone as amazing as Angie and just hear her story. Another lady that I had the opportunity to connect, and someone that, again, I mentioned 20 years that I've been in real estate. This lady's actually been in real estate about the same time, and she is doing a phenomenal job here in the Denver market of building an excellent business. And what I love about it, her story and what she shares, a lot of times we're always trying to find the why. See, that why, they say if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not your why. And I don't necessarily know about that, but I can tell you it is important to find out why you're doing something. What is your purpose in regards to the things that you're doing in life? And a lot of times it's tied to family. I can tell you mine was tied to my kids, and at a very early age in their lives, making sure and wanting to make sure that I was putting myself in a position to put them in a great position as they became adults. And really with April Denman, it was much the same thing. Let me do that again, Joe. And really with April Denman, it was much of the same thing, where she wanted to be able to, number one, leave a legacy behind, but she was so proud of the things that her father did in his life that she wanted to make him proud of her from a business aspect. And she opened Denman Realty. As a matter of fact, she will share with you how he played a big part in some of the decisions that she made. So take a look at a few minutes of our episode and see how inspiring April is.
In my 40s, and my dad's been gone for almost 6 years. When I see people, they're like, you're just like your dad. You have your dad's spirit, you have your dad's hustle. So I literally owe all of my success, all of everything to my parents. And that's why I give so much love to them now. Up until the day that my dad passed away. I mean, he was so proud of me. So for me, going so hard, seeing all that in 6 years, I was doing good. So he got to see me 6 years ago. My dad always took care of his parents. So I got to take my parents on trips and just do some of the most amazing things.
I got to tell you, this young lady is doing some amazing things in the Denver market. And again, while her platform is not national, it's not worldwide, if you come into the Denver market, people know who April Denman is, and they are thoroughly impressed by what she's been able to achieve. Now, I can tell you there's some other people that I had the opportunity to interview as well. We have 2 Pro Football Hall of Famers. Maybe you know the name of Brian Dawkins. He talks with us about transformation. If you understand that to do the things in life that you want to do to succeed, a lot of times you are going to have to transform first. Because see, your current thinking, your current behavior, your current belief has got you to where you are today. To get to the levels, to new heights, you got to change your thinking. You got to change your behavior. And you're going to have to level up. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. And one of the amazing things that Brian used to do was this transformation from Brian Dawkins to Weapon X, which was the figure and the mindset that he took on when he played pro football. And we talked about mindset and we talked about transformation in our episode. So take a look here at a few segments of that.
That's why it's a joy to get up in the morning. That's why it's a joy. I wake up in the morning with with just a blessed on my heart, man. Even I may not feel like it sometimes, be a little drunk, but I get up with gratitude in my heart. Thank you for this day. Thank you for another opportunity.
I can tell you, this guy gets me fired up every time we have the opportunity to talk, every time I hear him speak. Just an amazing guy. And he's going to impact so many people with all the different work that he's doing in the community now. There's greatness within you. We've all heard those words before, but do we truly believe it? I can tell you, it took me about 3 years of studying greatness before I realized there truly is greatness inside of me. And I wrote a book called Ignite Your Greatness that proves the theory that we all have greatness within us. And I take it a step further. Once I prove it to you, I tell you exactly how to ignite the fire within you and take your life to new heights. Get your copy of Ignite Your Greatness at igniteyourgreatness.com. Available in paperback, hardcover, and soon to be audiobook in June of 2021. Also available on Amazon. All right, so as you can see, we've had some amazing people that we've had as guests on the podcast, and just a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information that's having a huge impact on so many people. I can tell you, when I started the podcast, I had an idea of a few people that I wanted to interview because I just had such great respect and held them in high regard for the things that they had achieved in life. And then more and more people just started unfolding, right in front of me for me to have the opportunity to speak with. And I can tell you, it was an extreme honor to have someone reach out to me and say, how would you like to interview Beyonce Knowles' dad, Matthew Knowles, really the mastermind behind Destiny's Child and the career of Beyonce? And I was like, absolutely, I would, because I have always thought of this gentleman, Mr. Matthew Knowles, as Dr. actually Matthew Knowles. I've always thought of him as someone that, again, he took a vision and he took it to a whole new level for the whole world to see. And that's really what greatness is for us to be able to tap into our gifts and our talents and envision it so big that the whole world sees it, or maybe just the whole community that you in sees it. But again, revealing it further than just within yourself. And so we had the opportunity to speak, and I tell you, it was like we were old friends. It was one of the best interviews, and he was just such a down-to-earth guy. But take a look at a few segments of our interview.
And I never forget my therapist saying that my success was due to this chaotic part of me. And I talk about that in one of my other books, Racism from the Eyes of a Child. This chaotic part of me growing up in the South and always thinking I had to overachieve. And so I paid a price for overachievement, and everything I did, I had to do to the extreme. And I couldn't understand boundaries. And my therapist once said, you know, you have a good and bad with this. Your success is due to your failure, and your failure is due to your success.
As I said, you know, again, just someone that was just a true joy to be able to speak with, but also learn some valuable information from. And the fact that he is training and teaching future business leaders and entrepreneurs in the entertainment industry right now as a professor at Prairie View University is really just exciting to see that he is putting forth his talents and still allowing others to learn from him. Another gentleman that I had the opportunity to also interview was someone, we call him the connector in the industry, and he's someone that does just that. He loves to be able to network and put people together and have them flourish in their prospective businesses. But he's a mindset coach also. He's very big on belief and the power of our thinking. And he's actually one of the top mindset coaches with the Procter & Gallagher Institute. And he's someone that he's connected me with multiple people. He actually connected me with Les Brown to be able to do the interview that we were able to do on the Greatness Ignited podcast. And again, he's helping so many from around the world with their thinking, but also helping them progress in their current businesses, whatever they may be. And that's Mr. John Tellerico. Take a look at our episode and some of the great takeaways in regards to mindset.
So you and all my clients, don't worry about the how. That's not your business, but you need to take action. So what do? You reverse engineer, you work backwards. Okay, here's the person I need to connect with. Who do I know that may know him? What is he doing? Where's he going to be? I saw that he was going to be up in Toronto area. I flew up to Toronto thinking, you know, I got someone who wants to pay money. I'll just march right in. There was 10,000 people at this event he was singing at. There was no way I was getting backstage or even close. But that's where the persistence comes in. I didn't give up. Someone told me about an after party that was in kind of a strip mall that night. I went there, willing to do whatever it takes, right? And so I saw him sitting there with his girlfriend at the time, or whoever was with him, and the crew. And I just waited. I waited till she went to the restroom, and I waited for her to come out. And I said, look, I'm not stalking you. I'm too old to be a groupie. Don't need an autograph. Don't even need a photo. But here's the deal. I have a client that will send money next week if he will come with us and do this thing. And from that, Barry, it led to an amazing string of 8 years of being able to travel the world with him. He and I and another gentleman shared a 11,000 square foot office in the Empire State Building.
Wow.
Dave and John and the FUBU guys had the other half of the office. So that's why you just never know what's possible when you take action and when you stop worrying about how you're going to figure it out and just hold the vision of what you want.
All right. So you can see that, again, with the thinking that you currently have, it's got you to this point in life. But as we continue to level up our thinking, and I like to always look at it as when you're in the gym, you go into the gym and you take your muscles to muscle failure. but it's to grow the muscle. It's to make them stronger. And a lot of times that's what we have to do with our own thinking. We almost have to strip away a lot of the negative thoughts that we have, a lot of the things that we think about ourselves, and be able to get down to the purest part of us, who we were as kids when we believed beyond, you know, what reality could be, and really getting back to those points. And John does a great job at helping people to get to that point in life. Another person that I was able to interview was a gentleman that, again, has been a great friend to me and someone I've always admired his musical talent. Again, being a jazz artist and playing with some of the best in the world and being produced by some of the best in the world. I love seeing, from an artist standpoint, someone take the things that they enjoy and the gifts and share it with the world. And it was really just a joy to be on with Harold Rapp III and hear his story and learn and understand of the struggles in life that he experienced. But the thing about it is he took those struggles and he turned it into something positive that helped him to grow an amazing musical career that is continuing to thrive right now. So here's a few pieces from that particular interview.
You know, smooth jazz has a particular format and a particular way to approach it. For me, I was like, I have no box. So this is what I'm going to play. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just have to be what I feel. And that was the journey of me finding myself.
One of the few things that I've often learned through athletics when I played in, you know, elementary school, middle school, high school, was, again, there are going to be points in your athletic career where you have highs and lows. But, you know, a lot of times people talk about wins and losses, but I look at it more as wins and lessons that we go through in life. And I can tell you that athletics is one of those things that can it can get you prepared for the ups and downs of life. And two of the star athletes that I had the opportunity to interview were Mark Jackson, who played several years for the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants, and I believe the Indianapolis Colts for a short period of time. And then we have Steve Atwater, who's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, who also played for the New York Jets for a short period of time, but most of his career with the Denver Broncos, and was also a two-time Super Bowl champion with them as well. But take a listen to some of the struggles early on in life that kept them in a place of feeling like, man, this is a struggle at the moment, but I have the opportunity to turn this around and turn it into something great.
There's a quote on persistence. I think persistence and consistency are kind of from along the same lines. Anything that you can do, you know, continuously over time. Like I said, how do you stick in the NFL? Master the moon day. Keep running that 10-yard out till it's a part of you, till you own it, right? Till you've mastered it. A 10-yard out. Yeah. I did that when I was in grade school, but I did it through junior high school. I also did it in college, and I did it for 9 years in the pros. I think even today, if you took me out on the football field, blindfolded me, and told me to run a 10-yard out, my foot would plant on a 10 or 9 yard line as I broke into the 10-yard line on the out. It's like that comes from being consistent.
The reason why I went to Arkansas is, first off, I told the coaches that I wanted to play quarterback because back then I thought I was a good quarterback. And so I wanted to play quarterback in college. And a lot of colleges, they're like, no, we're going to move you to DB. Mm-hmm. But the coaches from Arkansas told me that, hey, you know, we're going to give you an opportunity to play quarterback. And I say this about Ken Hatfield. He was the coach, the new coach that came in. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I talked to him about it. And he said, yeah, we'll give you an opportunity to play. But, man, it was after 3 days, my first year there, he called me into his office and he said, hey, Steve, you know, if I know you want to play quarterback, and if you decide to do that, hey, we're fine with it, but it may be a while before you play. He said, now, however, if you want to try the safety position, move over to safety, you know, you probably won't start. We still want to redshirt you, but I want you to be able to travel with the team and kind of see what the locker room is like on the roads and everything, on the road trips and everything. And that sounded good to me. So, and first 3 days of practice, that was kind of rough on me anyway. I wasn't able to do that veer option offense, those reads I wasn't used to. So, I jumped at the opportunity to switch over. And I say he kind of had that in his mind all along that we're going to bait him down here. We'll let him think he's going to play quarterback and do the old switcheroo. But I'm actually grateful that he did it because I don't know how far I would have made it as a quarterback.
All right. So hopefully you were able to take away some great information from those two professional athletes, one of them a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and seeing how they were able to take struggle and turn it into something amazing, because we all have struggles in our lives that we have to go through. It's just a matter of how we approach it, and more importantly, how we come out of it. Are we going to be better? When, like I said, when you go to the gym and you're pushing or pulling up weight, it's a struggle to the muscle, but it's for a purpose, to make the muscle stronger. Such is life. We all go through the struggle, but what we have to be content with and understanding is that this struggle will make you stronger moving forward. Another person that talked about childhood struggle and depression is a good friend of mine, Stephen McMillan, who started his own shoe company. He's actually thriving and now selling shoes, designer shoes all over the world right now through Shopify. So again, it was a pleasure to be able to speak to him and hear his story. Again, hearing some of the struggle, but then hearing of how he turned it all around and is pursuing greatness right now and has great opportunities that are being presented to him.
I'm a big believer that if your business isn't online, then your business is going to end up becoming a stone age. We see it with Toys R Us, Sears. A lot of these physical stores aren't necessarily able to compete with Amazon, and Amazon, we all know, blew up over the last 3 years. It's just absolutely ridiculous with the e-commerce space. But to get back to, I was just teaching e-commerce. I was doing e-commerce myself, and then I was teaching it, and I started doing webinars and masterminds and all that alongside with my mentor. And that was just an absolute phenomenal experience. It is definitely similar as far as what I'm doing now, just because I'm still doing e-commerce. But what I was doing before was drop shipping products, pretty much finding products at a wholesale price and, of course, selling it for higher. One of the products that we used was the black facial mask that went viral in 2016. It's just ridiculous. And but when you're creating your own product, when you're literally creating your own product from the ground up, it's completely different from drop shipping, because there isn't necessarily a full audience that's necessarily interested in your product right now. And so you have to go through the full branding process, understanding your targeted niche and what that even looks like. And so there's a couple of differences in between drop shipping and fully building a brand. But man, the knowledge that I've been able to get and attain from both aspects has been phenomenal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was the first season of the Greatness Ignited podcast. Again, I was truly honored to have some of the amazing guests that I had on. So much information, a wealth of information for me that I was able to learn from. Hopefully, just from these snippets, you were able to take some great information as well. But one of the things that I urge you to do is go back. If you heard something from Brian Dawkins, or you heard something from Stephen McMillan, or you heard something from April Denman that really moved you, go back and look at the whole episode. I guarantee you there's more in there. There's more that will inspire you and take you and your life to whole new heights. And get ready, as we are getting started on season number 2. We plan to bring you the same level of guests in season 2 and the same professionalism that was presented here. And just really excited to have you be a part of the growth of the Greatness Ignited podcast. And I want you to remember something. The struggle is real, but so is your greatness. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you ready to ignite? Ignite Your Greatness, the new book by author Barry Overton, is the lighting the fire within so many people. You need to get your copy at igniteyourgreatness.com. Available in paperback, hardcover, and soon to be audiobook as of June of 2021. Also available on Amazon.
Ignite your greatness, take a leap of faith and you'll make it. Wanna live life to the fullest, you gotta be hardworking and patient. You got the fire within you, you got a dream that you should be chasing. Pushing through to the finish line and you got no time to be wasting, yeah. Ignite your greatness, take a leap of faith and you'll make it.